Hello, this is Lindsay Ellis, fairly popular YouTuber, and she has been hounded off Twitter. So sometimes the girls get it. And this is an hour and 40-minute video of her crying about it. Let's see what she has to say.
So last week, I was in a restaurant in North Carolina, and we were sitting at the bar, and the owner was sitting right there because they were about to close, and my mother starts talking to her, and somehow or other, the owner just looks at me, and she's like, well, what do you do? And, I wasn't about to tell her I'm a YouTuber, so I was like,
Yeah, it's not high status enough for her, even though it's something that she enjoys doing and she makes money off of. It's not high status enough for her to brag about.
I'm a writer. I mean, I am technically. And she's like, well, what do you do? So I told her my name, and she's like, I'm going to Google you. And I was like, okay, but I'm super canceled right now. And she like laughed and clearly thought I was kidding, or maybe didn't know what that meant, or, knew it in some like right wing way. And then she like Googled me and like,
what does she mean by right wing way?
started laughing because the first thing in the like the questions people ask is, why is Lindsay Ellis canceled?
Oh, I know why. Because when you right wing way, they mean like some guy's getting canceled and they complain about being canceled. So, I mean, the left wing way would be that a woman's actually getting zapped for a change.
And I mean, why indeed? But before I get into this, I need to lay some groundwork. Ladies and boomers of the jury.
Okay, this I'm not even going to bother you with. Lay some groundwork. She's actually going to go into the beginnings of the word canceled. It's just a way of her saying that this cry video isn't a cry video. This is me just talking about, this in a neutral way. But we'll get past that. Now, I'm going to do some groundwork. This canceling, first of all, it's just basically women getting guys fired from positions, showing their social dominance. And of course, the feminist, who inspired all this, they have their attack dogs from the LGBT and racial minorities. And these attack dogs are supposed to attack men solely and the people they don't like. But since they're not in on it, they attack people. So like a pasty-faced girl like her might be attacked by a racial minority, saying, hey, you're on the opposite team. They said they don't realize they're not supposed to do that. So let's get on with this.
Part 7. Youre Next. What follows in campaigns like this is the other isolation tactic, targeting your colleagues, friends, and loved ones. This comes in two flavors, demanding that the colleagues of the accused answer for their crimes, or trying to deplatform said colleagues because you're already riding high off the previous victory, so who's next? Sarah Z is next. Jenny Nicholson is next. ContraPoints is next. Jenny in particular. Jenny is next. Jenny, you're next. Jenny next. Jenny next. Jenny next. Both Jenny Nicholson and ContraPoints were trending at certain points during the weekend because of...
See, she's gotten zapped, and now they're after friends of hers. So now this kind of canceling is a problem. It wasn't before when it was doing what it was intended by these people.
Me. Fake screenshots of a racist tweet that Jenny never made spread like wildfire with the goal of getting her driven off of Twitter because of me. And a year and a half ago, the shoe was on the other foot because a lot of the same crowd was attacking Natalie. It must needs be remarked that a huge contingent of the people who have it out for me right now hate me for sticking by Natalie during the Angel Buck incident about 18 months ago. And if you want to know more about that... here's the thing. And it's really only now that I can make sense of it, that I got so many hate follows after that people were so eager to screen cap anything and everything I said on Twitter, no matter how minor or petty, to create this narrative of me as a secret horrible person just because I stood up for my friend. And I don't regret doing it. I would do it again, but it is insane that I am paying such a high price for that now.
Yeah, this is insane. You know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of Sargon of Akkad when he was an anti-feminist. And all the anti-feminists were saying, this is crazy. what they're doing to us. These women coming and attacking us guys. It's so insane. Of course they say that because you say that when you have no power to stand up to them. And so Ellis here is in that boat now. They're coming after her and she can't really do anything about it. Unless she wants to, she's trying to call things out like this is bad, but it's only bad when it's happening to her. Is she going to have any integrity in saying this should stop for everybody? No, because this thing has been set up to attack the people she doesn't like.
Oh, and now my other colleagues are being targeted for no other reason than the crime of being friends with me, for not publicly denouncing me, for not validating their anger.
There's a lot of me's going on.
Why? Jenny is one of the smartest, most insightful.
Oh, Jenny, I've seen some of her videos. She's the YouTuber who never deigns to speak to any of the people in her comment section. She doesn't slum with the plebs. I've seen her.
Insightful people I know. Sarah always floors me with how much research and nuance and sensitivity she brings to her topics, and she's only 22. Natalie is, well, she's a whore, but she's my whore. These obsessive...
Yeah, she's my LGBT pet. The LGBT are often pets to the average woman. So, I mean, that's what she's saying here.
Campaigns to try to push these narratives of my friends as bad people and secret TERFs and secret racists are just baffling to me. Global fascism is on the rise on a level we haven't seen in more than a...
Is it? Or is it just that we're noticing it now? Also, I noticed that a lot of young guys used to be on the left side have actually migrated to the right because the left is so toxic to men. And so they go to any group that is welcoming to them at all.
A generation. Are there not enough out and proud racists that you feel you need to unmask the My Little Pony YouTuber, Jenny Next?
Yeah, but this is an act of social dominance, Ellis. And as you're going to point out, it doesn't really affect people that are officially on the other side, but it works very well on people on their own side.
Jenny Next, Jenny Next. So do not give me this horseshit about accountability. This is obviously just entertainment to you. Just fuck.
Yes, you're getting it. It is entertainment. Social dominance is enjoyable. These guys get on and bully people on the internet until they're gone. They feel good about that. That's true.
Fucking own it. Obsessively chronicling every perceived misstep we've ever made.
But it's not necessarily obsessive, is it? I mean, if you're just doing this for shits and giggles and make yourself feel good, you don't have to put a lot of time into it. All you have to do is when you're done work, maybe scroll leisurely through the platforms for your name and see what you had to say. If you have something they can use against you, then they'll do it. It's not really necessarily obsessive.
That could be interpreted badly, all while completely ignoring the rest of our entire bodies of work. Why are you wasting so much energy on this? Because you can't...
Hold it. They're not wasting their energy. It's effective, right? You got hounded off Twitter. That's what they wanted. So it's not a waste. Not to them.
Impact people who are actually doing your community harm. You can't shame the shameless. Trump will never face justice. Brett Kavanaugh's on the Supreme Court for life. Ben Shapiro gets off on your outrage. So
notice they're all guys. See, this is what the thing is. They're supposed to be like left versus right, or there's these evil white guys, but they're guys, and that's what it is. And of course, it doesn't affect them because they know they're on the other team. They planted their flag as being on the other team. I don't know about Trump, but definitely Shapiro. So of course he's not going to be affected by it. But of course you aren't. You have no immunity to this because you have to play by their rules, by the rules that you have set up yourself.
You shame those who can be shamed. And if you call one of us bigoted enough times, people will start to believe it, and then you can feel like you solved racism by spreading lies about a person you have never.
By the way, racism is label. That label is just used as a club to attack guys with. So basically, they're coming after some of the girls. Now it's an issue. Ellis, you didn't make this video until it happened to you. If this was such an important issue, if this was something that was wrong, you should have made this months ago, if not years. But when guys are getting zapped, then it was okay for you because, I mean, that's what its real purpose was. These attack dogs don't know that they're not really allies, that they're just exactly that. They're peons. They're attack dogs for girls to dominate men and get them fired.
Never met and never will, and was doing you and your community no harm. Well done. Shabash. Good job. Fuck every single one of you.
But it was a good job because that's what they wanted to accomplish, and they did it, and you're gone.
You do not deserve grace. You do not deserve sympathy. Part 8. The Beast. So obviously in my case, the easy thing to do would be eat crow and move on.
Yes.
I never would have gotten trending if I hadn't deleted my Twitter account, but I'm not here to say a bunch of shit I don't mean because PR. Fuck PR. You want your precious authenticity? Here it is. There's a danger.
This is posturing. This is her posturing now.
To normalizing the insincere apology, and if we normalize acting like PR bots and dole out disingenuous apologies whenever they are demanded for any reason, valid or invalid, any harm, real or imagined, then this isn't discourse.
Well, the other thing she's not mentioning is that the insincere apology actually makes things worse. It makes the attack dogs more rabid because she knows from seeing other people apologize that the people attacking them just see them as being on the rope. It's a sign of weakness. So that's why she's not going to apologize. This has nothing to do with some kind of personal integrity or principles. She just knows it's not going to work. It's only going to fuel the fire.
This is performance. The reason campaigns like this gain traction is because they prey on communities that try to operate in good faith. They take advantage of people's goodwill, and they condition cynicism. So inevitably, people harden over. They default to skepticism. Even this fucking woman of color who harangued Cat Black demanding...
Let's see. Darcy Miller. Hey, Beastie, are you going to address your colleague's racist comments? Okay.
That she answer for collaborating with such a racist? Well, guess what? That person eventually fessed up to being a white man before deleting his account because, you know, listen to POC. People are...
Fantastic. In other words, some of the guys have got tired of the abuse and they got smart and they're using your own ammunition against you. Why? It's not just that he's white. The white doesn't matter. It's that he's a guy. We know this is about the girls going after the guys. That's what it is. And they're fighting back. And it looks good on you people.
Are so obsessed with identity as a rhetorical trump card.
Of course, because that's what your crowd is. It uses identity to go after guys. Female victimhood is attack on the male gender. And this is all it's about is gender. It has nothing to do with race, has nothing to do with LGBT. That's what's going on.
You can't even take it on good faith that people are who they say they are anymore. And they take that desire to do right and exploit it because it makes them feel powerful. This is the real mask off. Youre Next.
How is going after guys getting them fired? How is that doing right? See what I mean? Like it's right if the guys get his zapped, but now it's wrong because one of the girls have gotten zapped.
Jenny, Youre Next, Sarah, Youre Next, Natalie, because running women off Twitter is fun.
There you go. She admitted it. She just validated everything I was been saying this whole video. She admitted it. What a dumb thing for her to do. chasing women off the internet. There you go. So she just proved everything I just said. The whole purpose was to chase guys off the internet and abuse guys. And now some of the girls are getting it. Now it's an issue. And this isn't about the LGBT. It's not about racial minorities, and never was.
In accountability. So militantly performing allyship by rooting out corruption like it's the fucking Red Scare, sharing doctored screenshots of tweets that...
But this isn't corruption or purity. This is social dominance. It's about punishing someone because you know they can, that you can. So get it right, Ellis.
Don't exist, and willfully misinterpreting things to prove that the My Little Pony YouTuber is a secret racist. Deep down, you know you're just doing it for clout, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's, like I said, social dominance. And it's working for them. And you're off Twitter, right?
You should be sensitive to marginalized groups, and you should be constantly advocating for a more just world and against racism, because...
Yeah, again, this racism and minority, it's all about attacking men. It's false. It's false framing. So what she's really saying is, you guys, yeah, you should go after the average guy on Twitter and these other social platforms. But, you know, it's no longer the right thing to do when I get it. And mine, me and mine.
Because we all have the stink on us, but that should be the goal.
No,
in it.
Speak for yourself. We don't have the stink, all have the stink of racism on us. It's more virtual signaling. Like, this is her virtualing to her attack dogs. You're my allies. You know, get back on the track. There's your villains over there. Go get them. Him.
Itself, not performing on Twitter so people can reassure you you're one of the good ones. So you can get mad.
Yeah, it's nice to see this change, because the male feminists are the usual guys who say, you know, I'm one of the good ones. Stop coming after me. Now it's your turn. Now these fake allies of yours, you have to placate them.
Max retweets for an awesome dunk. I am not innocent. I have done this. And as content creators, our behavior online turns from due diligence into threat modeling. And I'm not playing this game anymore. Trying to stay 18 steps ahead of the...
You are playing this game because you set up the rules. You set up the rules so that guys could get zapped and canceled. And because part of the rules was that you have these attack dogs that are the LGBT and racial minorities, even if they're guys, that you've got to keep that pretense up. And so now some black guy can look at your pasty face and say, no, you're the enemy. You're the privileged white person, and you have to play by those rules.
Worst possible interpretation of my words or actions.
It has nothing to do with your whiteness. You're a woman. You're an example of the most, what's the proper word? Yes, privileged and entitled people that have ever lived on the planet in human history.
Isn't taking accountability. It's just self-defense. It's just protecting the brand. And I understand why there is this lingering culture of distrust, especially among communities of color. But it is the height of dishonesty to suggest that the kind of atmosphere where everything is taken in bad faith leads to a more just world. I'm not furious.
How is it bad faith? I mean, guys getting canceled, they use the racism slur. That's the purpose of it. So it's in good faith in that way, and saying this is what our goal is, and this is our tactics. Just that the tactics are being turned on you now. So now it's an issue. Now it's a problem.
Yes, because I'm uniquely wronged. I will be fine. I didn't actually lose anything.
This is more posturing and virtual signaling. You made this video because you were purposely wronged. That's why you made it. It's 140 minutes long of a cry video. This is about you, and this is why you made this video. If this was beyond you, you wouldn't have waited till it happened to you before you made this video.
could have pretended nothing happened and probably be better off because nobody cares about the fucking riot tweet. I'm furious because this keeps happening and we have deluded ourselves into thinking that savaging each other for the smallest transgression and the most minor disagreement is helping right the wrongs of the world.
Also, it does keep happening because your attack dogs have turned on you. A house divided falls in on itself. And you know something? You're a better target than these guys like Shapiro, because you have to play by the rules you set, and he doesn't. And so they go after, these jackals go after the weakest targets. And you're a weak target for that reason. You have to play by the rules you set up. So why would they bother with Shapiro if they can zap you? Right?
There's this broad refusal to admit that our systems that operate on good faith are very often abused. I was going to include a section about other people from more marginal.
Yeah, it's abused. The system we set up to attack these guys are starting to get some girls now. And this is an issue with her.
Marginalized groups than me who are held to an even higher standard of purity, who have lost way more than I have for equally.
Yeah, people have lost a lot more than you. You got shouted off Twitter. So what? You still have Patreon. You're still doing what you like. You're still on YouTube. You're still making money. You don't have to work for a living. But guys who get canceled, when they lose their jobs, they're losing a lot. So this is why this cry video is so embarrassing. You have no reason to cry. This looks good on you, Ellis. And I'm glad it happened. And that's all I have to say about this.